So these two supers are unique in the sense that you can use them to beat projectiles, right? Luke was regarded as the best super in the game, so his was nerfed by... You know, they made him have a much bigger hurt box on startup. I question why they didn't do the same thing for Guile, because if you look at it, Guile actually doesn't have an extended hurt box on startup. Only after the projectile is on screen does he have a bigger hurt box, if you look at it. So there's a super flash, and that's what he looks like when he does the super. It's just the normal hurt box, normal standing character hurt box. And when the actual projectile is on the screen, then he has an extended hurt box. So that doesn't do really anything. Like that doesn't make it easier to punish, because I don't know how many hits the Sonic Hurricane is. It's a lot. It's a lot. Like Luke's level 1 can only go through it because by the time Luke's level 1 finishes, the Hurricane is gone. So the last hit, the last fireball can hit Guile. In my opinion, this has to be the best super now in the game. Going with the same logic, because you can beat projectiles with it. They told me Luke's was the best because of that, so now Guile's has to be the best, right? That's the logic. And let's have a look at Luke's. So there it is. That's his hurt box on startup. So if you react to a projectile and you're not right, you're getting blown up. So yeah, and this is where the questionable balancing comes into play. Other examples I got would be Jamie's sweep. So in the big balance patch, they made it so Jamie's sweep hits as a low and a high or mid, whatever Street Fighter calls it. See? Low and then high. This was because a lot of people stood up after the first hit. You know, they're babies, they don't know that a sweep is a low, so they got hit. So they changed that. It's still a low if only the second hit hits, which is a lot if you're a good Jamie player and you try to space it. But in the same patch, they also made this -11 instead of -10. Which is diabolical, if you ask me. Like, they said in the notes that it was too strong. Or, like, you know, players thought that it was too brain dead. But then there are other sweeps in the game that they just didn't touch. JP, for example. His sweep is -6. I cannot punish this. There's nothing I can punish this with. We know Luke has a 6-frame super, right? But, like, it has travel time. So, I'm pretty sure you cannot punish that. Even if you try your best. See? Not a punish, it was 2 frames off because of the travel time. So, isn't JP's sweep 2 brain dead? It's the same thing. On punish counter, this gives him ridiculous reward. That is a free EX portal setup, and he's +8 in my face. So his sweep has ridiculous reward, but none of the downside of other sweeps, or Jamie's sweep, which was my example. So my question is, why did that not get nerfed? Isn't that too strong? Another example would be Chun-Li. Who in the game can punish this? I don't think anyone can. Like, my low forward reaches here, but Luke's is 8 frames. Well, 8 framers go like farther. I don't think any low forward reaches. Let me try super. Nope. It's a frame off. Isn't that sweep too good? I'm asking, like, why did we nerf an already bad character sweep when there are other obnoxious sweeps in the game? Luke's is another example. You never see this, but this thing is -9 with good range. Like, most sweeps have a 10 frame startup, so you can't even like counter sweep it. And this is, again, just hard to punish. Why isn't this more punishable? So when Street Fighter 6 first launched, you've seen a lot of Luke and Ken players baiting anti-air DPs with this. These moves, since have been nerfed, they are practically useless if you try to bait a DP. So as you can see, I successfully baited the DP, and I was minus on the whiff. Like, you can bait the DP, but you don't get anything. But the thing is, if you already knew about this move, and you just use your normal anti-air, you were in no trouble. I'm minus 5. He could punish me that. Ken has a 5-frame medium, by the way. Very easy punish. I already thought this move was useless if the opponent was smart pre-patch, but now it's terrible. It's just a combo tool now. At least Ken's doesn't have as much recovery. As you can see, 23 landing recovery frames. Like, yes, I can still punish it, but like, it's not 40. You know? Like, I could punish if I do a normal anti-air, but if I DP, like, I'm minus 7. So, you know, at least the Ken is still at advantage. That's his reward for spending the bar. So yeah, again, for Ken, that move is now just a combo tool, that he gets an air-to-air, and that's pretty much it. There is a certain DLC character, who is the same archetype as both of these characters. And this character has all the air mobility tools that can bait your entire DP. Let's see. Let's go in order. I'm minus 12. That's a full combo for Akuma. Okay, let's go to the next one. Empty Demon Flip. Minus 30. Alright, let's go up to the next one. If he hits an air fireball, he gets a full combo. That's very simple. It did 25%. There's way more that he can get. Wow, 25%, and we're in the corner. Now I'm gonna die. Isn't it weird how they took away these Shoto characters, the moves that they had that they could bait the DP with, and they gave multiple to Akuma? I think that's kind of weird. But don't worry, that's not the first time they gave something to a DLC character that they took away from a base roster character. Let's just pick Honda and Mr. Bison. So in the first year of Street Fighter 6, we all remember the Honda headbutt. This thing was minus 4 and it left probably at this distance. And this let Honda set up like really good spacing traps. And it was kind of stupid. We can all agree on that. And you know, they nerfed it for Season 2 because a lot of low level and even high level players were just annoyed by this. Like now, you can just check the Honda player, there's not much mind games behind it. It's just a special that takes away a bar of drive gauge, and that's it. And now we have Bison, who can do this. See that? I can just set up a spacing trap of scissor kicks. And let's see the frame rate on that scissor kick. It's minus 5. No character can punish that at that range. No super is fast enough, no normal is good enough to reach. So they basically gave him headbutt, like Season 1 headbutt, but it's like maybe even better. It doesn't take as much drive gauge, but like the way this move works is on hit, it leaves you like really close, and you can threaten and throw. See, I'm in throw range. You can shimmy as well. Like, let's just record this. And just walk away. I got shimmied. That's a full combo. Bison does a lot of damage. So they basically gave him headbutt from Season 1, but it's kind of better because it doesn't knock down on hit. I have this theory that they're giving DLC characters tools that we're used to, but were nerfed. You know, because they want to sell them. There's a reason all these DLC characters are good. Like, these two are extremely top tier, and Ed and Aki are high tier characters, and Rashid is probably the best character in the game. And I guess just to go back to my previous point of baiting anti-airs, and Bison has the Shadow Rise in this game. If I just record. Oops. And this thing baits DPs so easily. Like, when you're playing as Bison and he does this move, you cannot DP. You're gonna get punished. Like, as simple as that. That hit. That's cool. That miss. I'm minus 12. He can punish me. Okay. Okay, I got it. 2 out of 2. Pretty good. Uh-oh. Now I'm in trouble. Like, he has so much control over this move. It's actually crazy. Like, you can go like that. You can stay in place. That's even better for baiting the DP. Oh, never mind. They actually thought of that. They gave him an extended hurt box. Good job, Capcom. You know, they sometimes forget about that, though. Like, giving something an extended hurt box that you would expect to have an extended hurt box. Going back to Akuma once again. So just have a look at this. You see that? That's Akuma's hurt box when he does his dive kick. On the startup, granted. And that's it when it's active. So you can see, it's pretty well lined up with his foot. The hitbox is not even that low to the ground. Now let's have a look at Jamie's. So there's Jamie's hurtbox on the dive kick on startup. I'm gonna pull up the images, but you can see it's much lower to the ground. And that's it when it's active. You can see how much lower to the ground it is. And it's not lined up with his foot whatsoever. Yeah, weird how that works. In the previous patch, they normalized dive kicks. So like, Kami's and Jamie's was pretty much the same when it came to the hurtbox, hitbox situation. But then they went ahead and gave Akuma a dive kick that has like the hurtbox of Kami on startup from season 1 and just a much better hurtbox on the active frames. Like, it's weird, isn't it? Let's go back to Luke. So Luke received a nerf in the patch that kind of normalized, quote unquote, his normal anti-air, the crouching heavy punch. Now, this normal was way too strong according to the community. To this day, I don't see it. You can see the hitbox on it. On startup, it has the old hitbox, which is just a big box around the fist. But then when it actually becomes an anti-air, this is the new hitbox on it. And the main complaints about this move were that it was too good when he has a DP and that it hit behind his head or like above his head and how that was too strong. So like, I just have a question because there's this character called Kami who has a DP, you know, that has this anti-air. As you can see, that anti-air hits above her head. It's pretty disjointed. So like, why can't she have that? It's much faster than Luke's anti-air. So why wasn't that nerfed? Is my question. Inarguably, Kami is much better in this season than Luke was, or than Luke is right now. So like, why does she get to keep that when Luke doesn't? Like, it's just strange to me. Like, what is the reasoning behind it? And like, you could argue that like Luke baits out jumps more often because he has a fireball, right? But like, Luke's fireball doesn't fit Street Fighter 6. Like, in my opinion, this is like on the lower end of the fireball tier list. What you see from the better characters like Guile or like even Ryu, like they throw a slow fireball, they drive-rush behind it, and they anti-air the opponent with some drive-rush normal. You've seen this combo a million times. Guile throws a slow boom, they drive-rush behind it, and then do crouch fierce. You can only do these things with slow fireballs. Or like, it's much easier to do them with slow fireballs. Luke, even if he can manage to get this situation where the Kami just jumps the fireball, doesn't dive kick, he cannot get a combo of this. You can try anything. You will never get a combo. See? And this was the same in season 1. This isn't a nerf he got. This is how it always was. So this is where I question the validity of the reasoning behind the nerf, that this was too good. When all this anti-air does is knock the opponent... Oh, it doesn't even knock the opponent down. It air resets you in every situation. So, normal hit. Air resets. Counter hit. Air resets. Punish counter. Air resets. So not even on punish counter does this anti-air knock you down. So yeah, I again question, how was this anti-air too good? When I have a DP, it's the same thing for Cammy, for example. She has a DP anti-air and she has a good normal anti-air. You can see that 4 starter frames, 5 active frames. Very similar. It's just faster. And also, fun thing, she gets a combo of that when she Jarvishes. See that? Almost 50% of an anti-air. So would this not count as too strong? Since it does the same things as Luke's, but she could also get a combo of it. I'm sure there are other examples, but I don't want to make this video too long. So yeah, why is balancing like this in this game? Is my question. Alright, that's it.